Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping. When you're coaching people now, having had that experience of like, oh, damn, I tried to do two things at once and I should have just stuck with the one thing that like I really knew well and not spent a bunch of money on this shiny object. How do you navigate that when you're coaching people now? Do you pop the bubble or do you say, hey, that's pretty cool, let me tell you about an experience I had? How do you navigate that one?
Yeah, so it's kind of like the hot stove with a kid, right? Like, you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to end well. So I do a little bit of what you just said, a little storytelling, especially if it's something that I've been through and I've experienced. I like to, we know the speak from experience, perspective tends to work the best, right? So anytime I can go down that road, I do 100% because people can relate and they say like, oh, okay. Like the one husband and wife that I'm working with right now, they always tell me like, we really appreciate this because like you've been where we're at and you've been through this and you're helping us not make the mistakes that you've made, right? So I think it goes both ways, right? So if you're being coached or working with a mentor or something like that, the term coach has kind of gotten a bad rap, but if you're working with somebody who is ahead of you, and hopefully they are, right? You're not working with somebody who's at the same level as you, like you want to be working
giving you their opinions.
Yeah. You don't want opinions, you want experience. So somebody who's at least, 2 chapters ahead of you, and they can speak to the pain that they went through, because it's the whole point of working with somebody, a mentor, to help you avoid those things, to help you from touching the hot stove and stepping in the quicksand, right? So it is a little bit of, don't do that because it's going to hurt. But then a lot of times I try to just break it down to like the logical side of it. And okay, you did $500,000 this year. You want to do $4 million next year. Okay. And Dan, I know you do this a lot. Like, well, let's talk about that. What's it going to cost? How many employees do you need? How many people do you need to hire? How much equipment do you need to invest in? How much cash do you? Oh, you've got $10,000 in cash. Going to be pretty hard to do that, right? And then you kind of bring them down to earth. And like, it's always like, dude, we don't want to squash the ambition, but we got to have some sort of level ground, because if you're shooting for that 4 million and you end up at, 1.3 after doing 500,000, like that's pretty good. And you're in a good cash position. You're not bleeding profit. Like you made money that year. Like that's solid. That's what we want to focus on. Who cares? And my big focus lately is get rid of this stupid theory of the vanity of revenue. Like profit is all that matters in business as far as building and growing a business goes. Like this, I think the whole like private equity stir like got so many people into this like, oh, I got to hit this certain revenue amount. But really, what does private equity look like? The bottom line.
Yep.
I mean, there's a combination. There's more to it, obviously, but the biggest thing is
if your bottom line is good, your revenue will be good too. But if your revenue is good, it doesn't mean your bottom line is good.
That's right. It's
like
not,
it's the old, it's the
mutually exclusive.
A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle ain't a square. Hey, home service heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our home service happy hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.